I'm Tania Rogers, and you're listening to Mindful Hustler, the podcast helping entrepreneurs get out of their heads and onto building their dreams. Together, we're building businesses while balancing minds. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Hustler podcast. I'm your host, Tania Rogers, a therapist, an entrepreneur, and a coach helping aspiring entrepreneurs break free from misaligned careers so that they can create a life of freedom, fulfillment, and fun. Today, I want to dive into a topic that keeps so many of us stuck. Maybe you're feeling trapped in a job that you hate, following a path that doesn't excite you, or playing small because you're afraid of disappointing others. If that sounds familiar, this episode is for you. So let's start with the hard truth. Most of us are living based on what we think we should do rather than what we want to do. Maybe your family expected you to choose a stable career instead of following your true passion. Maybe society told you stories that look a certain way. Maybe society told you success looks a certain way, climbing the corporate ladder, having a certain title, making a specific salary. Or maybe you have placed unrealistic expectations on yourself, believing you must have it all figured out before you can take a leap. These expectations really shape our decisions. They keep us in fear and they stop us from truly living for ourselves. And if you're not careful, they can become the invisible force keeping you stuck in a life that isn't aligned with who you really are. Way back in college, I told myself this lie that I couldn't be creative and intelligent and successful. I told myself a lie, or I let what I thought society was telling me. I took that lie and I chose a path. Now, I'm happy the path worked out for me in terms of I am in the right field that I wanted to be in, and I love what I do, but it definitely, I went on a whirlwind for about a decade trying to figure out what I really wanted to do and what really made me happy. And so I'll take it back to high school. I was in all of the plays. I was in the drama club. I did the musicals in the town. I was a theater kid. I actually even contemplated on getting a tattoo with the two happy, like the cry, laugh now, cry later face, because I'm also a Gemini. So my 16-year-old self thought that this was a good idea. Thank goodness I didn't, but that's really what I wanted. I was really, really in it. I loved acting. I would have my grandmother and my mom take me to auditions, and I felt so alive. Like I would actually go and work at theater houses for free. I would volunteer. And I just thought that I was going to be this actress. Fast forward to college. I still loved acting. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to actually be an actress or if I wanted to do broadcast journalism. I forgot to say, actually, in high school, I even had a show on the local channel in my local town. It was called Real Talk, and we would make our own script. It was a part of the TV production class, and we made our own shows. We wrote our scripts and we produced it live, and it was great. When I got to college, I fed myself a lie that I needed to have an intelligent major, right? And so I went from being a broadcast journalism major to let me pick something because I don't want to fit the stereotypical like, oh, I'm just creative. I can't be intelligent. And I fed into that stupid lie. And it was only in high school where I had a Black political thought teacher. And she did this workshop with us, this like intensive weekend workshop for anybody who wanted to participate for extra credit, I think it was. So I did it. It was only like about probably like five of us. And she had these girls come in from NYU. And these girls, they had this honestly was the first time that I felt like I saw myself in a creative, intelligent, Afrocentric way. These women, they had these beautiful braids and locks. There were two of them. They were so creative, so talented, and they were so smart. And it was then where I said, I don't have to choose. I don't have to be intelligent or creative. But by then I actually had already changed my major to a psych major. What I realized though is that what drew me to the same thing that drew me to acting drew me to psych. I was really interested in human behavior. I really wanted to understand why people thought the way that they did, what made them tick. I really loved like diving into personality. I really love digging deep to like experiences that happened and how that manifested in a character. And so I know now, looking back, that those same elements, I get that as a therapist. But I say all this to say, I told myself that lie. I didn't want to fit a certain box. And so I did things and I adopted a certain path because I thought that I had to look a certain way. I know now that that is not true. And I hope you do too. A lot of the expectations that we place on ourselves are from society, they're from our families, they're not from us. They didn't come from us. So, how do we recognize when we're living for expectations rather than for ourselves? Ask yourself these three questions. Whose voice do I hear when I make a big life decision? Is it yours? Is it someone else's, like your parents, society, old teachers, a mentor? Whose voice is it? Question number two. Do I feel fulfilled and excited by my current path? Or am I just checking off boxes? Question number three. If I had zero fear of judgment, what would I do differently in my life? Start with these three questions. Then you'll really start to see, am I living for someone else's expectations or are they my own? If your answers reveal that you've been living for someone else's vision of success, don't panic. Awareness is the first step in breaking this. Now let's talk about how to take back control and start living for you. So, step number one, redefine success on your terms. What does your ideal life look like? Not your parents, not society's, yours. Get clear on what truly makes you feel alive and activated. Step three, challenge the fear of disappointing others. Ooh, this is a big one for me. I still sometimes feel this. Sometimes I feel, it's like that people pleasing in us. We don't want to disappoint us. It's especially hard if, say, like your parents are paying for your school or if you're dependent on them, if you live with them, even. It's really, really hard to not feel like you don't want to let them down or you don't want to insult them. But the truth is, people may not always understand your choices, but their approval is not required for your happiness. You don't need their approval for your happiness. Tip number three, rewire the limiting beliefs keeping you stuck. So if you've been telling yourself things like, I can't leave this job because it's too late, or I'll fail if I try something new. It's time to shift that mindset. Get rid of it. Replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones like, I deserve to build a life that excites me. If you cannot get over your limiting beliefs, you will never reach your full potential. You will never chase your dreams. And then you're going to be stuck wondering, what if? You don't want to live with that regret. So, tip number four, take small but bold steps towards building your dream life. So you don't have to flip your world upside down overnight. Start small, explore your interests, take a course, start a side hustle. Every step counts. Volunteer like I did when I was younger. Just dip your toe. I think so many times people think in polar extremes. It's like, the only way I can follow my dream is if I quit my job tomorrow. That's not true. Especially nowadays in the digital world, there's so many ways to actually explore things. There's Skillshare, there's YouTube, there's Udemy, there's, so many ways where you can just get a glimpse of what that next step or that life could look like. So don't think in polar extremes, just dip your toe, small steps. And then lastly, tip number five, surround yourself with expanders. This is a really big one. You have to find people who are already broken free from expectations and have created their own paths. So this will encourage you and remind you that it's possible for you too. If you have someone in your life that maybe you feel a little bit of envy when you see their life, or maybe you're wondering like, hey, how are they doing that? Take that envy, take that curiosity, and let yourself realize that if they're doing it, it's possible for you too. And get curious. You want them around you. You don't want your circle, you want a circle that's able to see your potential next. You don't want people who are used to your old self and who just want to keep you stagnant there because they're comfortable with that version of you. You want people who want you to grow, who want to root for you, and who see you as your future self as well. So the bottom line is these expectations that keep you stuck were never meant to define you. You are the author of your own story, and you have the power to rewrite it at any moment. So, what's one expectation you're ready to let go of? You can comment on this podcast, or you can reach out to me if you have any questions or comments at mindfulhustlerpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on Instagram at mindfulhustlerpodcast. Lastly, if you're ready to do the deep mindset work to finally break free and take action towards your dream life, I help aspiring entrepreneurs like you get clear on purpose, rewire limiting beliefs, and take bold, aligned action. If that speaks to you, let's chat. Until next time, keep breaking barriers and building the life you deserve. Thanks so much for listening. If you like this episode and you don't want to miss another, make sure you subscribe. See you next time.